We're human beings. Help us. Give us what we need. We don't want to be the stepchildren anymore.
I'm not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. None of that stuff is going to be touched.
Nothing.
You don't have to. Here's what I want on Medicaid. We're not touching anything. We're not going to touch it. And I'm not going to cut Medicare or Medicaid. Save Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security without cuts. They're going to destroy our health care, but I'm going to save it all, and I'm going to save our country.
You do not get free health care. You do not get free health care.
They literally cut my food stamp card off. Zero balance. They took everything. So I told my husband, and he says to me, as I'm crying, and he says to me, well, maybe you'll lose some weight now. God, why did I vote for him? I didn't know this was going to happen.
So you were telling me that people are unaware, they're unaware that the whole reason why hospitals are not allowed to turn you away in an emergency situation, regardless of your ability to pay, is because of the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, which states that hospitals who receive Medicare funding are not allowed to turn you away. And they are proposing to cut back on Medicare and Medicaid. Talk to a caseworker. There are no ineligible people who are receiving it. The only people who are receiving it are eligible because there is a vetting process. All these people that they say are illegally getting it, it's not happening. The point is to start the process to get rid of it entirely. And if we get rid of the only guaranteed payment for medical care in this country and we leave it all to our pockets with no support, guess what's going to happen to you? You are going to lose out on care because hospitals are going to close who depend on that funding. We don't have enough money to pay the bills that they decided were fair, which I'm sorry, I just had a life-saving surgery and I owe $3,000. If I don't pay $55 fucking dollars that I don't have to my primary care physician, they can decide to no longer treat me, and they will. And I've got to start all over again somewhere else. You all think that you're safe because, it's been that way because we fought to get it that way, and they're reversing it. You all have been so fucking pampered that you don't understand what we had to fight for to get you. Oh, but everyone dies. Bitch, apparently not fucking politicians.
You know, there's something deeply human about regret. That moment when the consequences of our choices finally catch up to us. But what happens when those choices weren't just personal, they were political? Now, what happens when people who cheered for policies that stripped millions of healthcare now find themselves sick, uninsured, and desperately seeking for empathy? Now, today, we are diving into one of America's most painful paradoxes. The Trump supporters who voted to end their own healthcare and are now asking for compassion from the very people they mocked. Now, this is a story of pride, pain, and even political awakening.
My medication.
This is what our shitty ass healthcare has come to, where my patients need medicine and supplies and their insurance won't cover it, and here I am spending my own money because my patient needs it, and he doesn't have any money and he can't work. And the insurance won't even cover what he needs. And I'm sad and I'm sick and tired of it.
The healthcare system today is incredibly broken, dysfunctional, and cruel. 85 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured. We pay the highest prices in the world by far for healthcare. 1 out of 4 Americans can't afford the outrageous prices of prescription drugs. We don't have enough doctors, nurses, dentists, mental health counselors, or other healthcare professionals. Our life expectancy is already far lower than other major countries. Yes, our healthcare system today is already broken. And in my view, in order to remedy that crisis, we have got to do what every other major country on earth does. Not a radical idea, and that is to guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right. But what I have to tell you is that in the midst of all of this, the dysfunctionality of the current healthcare system, Donald Trump and his friends are making a horrific situation even worse. In fact, they are pushing our healthcare system over the edge to the verge of collapse. Now, you think your health insurance costs are high right now? You think you're already paying the highest prices in the world for healthcare? Well, guess what? Within the next couple of weeks, millions of Americans are going to get a letter from their insurance companies telling them that their insurance premiums will double. Let me repeat. As a result of Trump's big, beautiful bill and massive cuts to the Affordable Care Act, your health insurance premiums for 24 million Americans are going to double. And maybe even worse, could get worse. As part of that big, beautiful bill, 15 million Americans will be thrown off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. Studies from Yale University and the University of Pennsylvania suggest that when you throw 15 million low-income and working-class people off of the health care they have, some 50,000 people will die unnecessarily every single year.
Americans don't even get affordable health care right now. What the fuck makes you think immigrants do? They're not trying to take away health care for immigrants. They're trying to take away health care for you.
They can't even afford rent, let alone covering health care for themselves or their children. But do you see what they're doing? They're cutting health care for 13.7 million Americans, the largest cut to health care in U.S. history, to give tax cuts to billionaires and to big corporations. This is your priority. Live with it. Defend it. Speak about why it is you are doing this. Because that is the consequence of your actions. Donald Trump told you to do it? Or is this what your constituent asked for?
When the chants of repeal Obamacare echoed through the rallies and across conservative talk shows, it wasn't just a political slogan, it was a movement. Now, many Americans truly believed that scrapping the Affordable Care Act would restore freedom, cut costs, and punish lazy freeloaders. But few paused to realize just how many of those freeloaders looked a lot like them. Now, working class families, farmers, factory workers, veterans, seniors, the backbone of Trump's base. Now, the message was simple: big government bad, personal responsibility good. Yet, behind that slogan hid a reality few understood, that healthcare, especially in America, isn't a luxury, it's a survival. Now, and when the system you voted to dismantle turns out to be the one thing keeping your child alive, your mother in remission, or your neighbor from bankruptcy, the politics start to look painfully personal. Now, fast forward a few years, the rallies are quieter now, the slogans have faded, but the medical bills really haven't. Across rural America, countless Trump voters are now discovering that healthcare doesn't care about party lines. The cancer diagnosis doesn't pause to ask who you voted for. The hospital doesn't offer discounts for patriotism, and the prescription bottle doesn't refill itself on political loyalty. Now, what's heartbreaking and yes, ironic is the tone we are seeing now. Online posts begging for GoFundMe donations, heartfelt pleas from families who once called universal healthcare socialism, mothers working 3 jobs just to pay off emergency room debt. Now, people realizing that the safety net they mocked was their safety net all along, and yet, despite the pain, there's powerful lesson here. Empathy cannot be partisan. It's easy to point fingers to say you made your bed and now lie on it. But healing a nation takes more than revenge. It takes understanding how misinformation, fear, and division can turn citizens against their own interests. It takes confronting the uncomfortable truth that millions were manipulated, not just by politicians, but by the billion-dollar media machines designed to sell outrage over solutions. Now, you see, many Trump supporters weren't simply voting against healthcare. They were voting against what they were told was the enemy, who are the immigrants, liberals, elites, and they were promised empowerment, but what they got was abandonment. They believed they were reclaiming America, but what they lost was security. And now, as they face the consequences, the empathy they're asking for isn't just personal, it's moral. Because here's the deeper truth: when one group's healthcare collapses, everyone else's does, and the uninsured still show up at the hospitals. The cost will still rise for everyone. The suffering still ripples through communities. Healthcare isn't a zero-sum game, it's a shared responsibility. And until America learns that, the circle will continue. Outrage, repeal, regret, repeat. So as we watch these stories unfold of Trump supporters now begging for the very system they destroyed, maybe the lesson isn't about politics at all. Maybe it's about compassion. Maybe it's about waking up before the pain hits home. And maybe, just maybe, it's time we stop voting out of fear and start voting for humanity, because empathy delayed often becomes tragedy realized.